Google's talking about their new Pixel phones a bit ahead of their release. There's a new Pixel 6a, which will hit in July. Then there's the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. Those are coming in the fall. Let's talk about everything we know about the next Pixels. We'll start with the Pixel 6a because we have the most information about that right now. You can see it looks a lot like the Pixel 6. The 6a will cost $449, with pre-orders beginning on July 21st. The 6a will hit shelves on July 28th. The Pixel 6a will be available in 3 colors: chalk, charcoal, and sage, otherwise known as white, black, and light green. The camera belt on all 3 devices will be black. Inside are dual rear cameras, a 12-megapixel main camera, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera. The main camera has optical image stabilization. The 6a has the same front camera as the Pixel 6. That's an 8-megapixel shooter. Speaking of cameras, Google's real magic is in its software. The company is touting its real tone technology. That's the tech that Google says will authentically represent all skin tones. The Pixel 6a will also be able to use Magic Eraser in Google Photos. That's the tech that allows you to easily remove a person or object from a picture. Google says they've improved Magic Eraser to change the color of distracting objects. Magic Eraser was a feature available on the Pixel 6, but not on the 5a, so that's a good upgrade for the A series. In Google's demo images, we see a beach scene. That umbrella and chair is kind of in the way. With Magic Eraser, Google Photos can get rid of it entirely. Then we have this green cooler. It can take away focus from the main subject of the photo. So with Magic Eraser, you can change the color of that cooler so it doesn't take away attention from what you're really trying to focus on. As for storage, you'll get 128 gigs of space along with 6 gigabytes of RAM. For comparison, that's the same setup as the Pixel 5a. The Pixel 6 ships with 8 gigs of RAM. That lower RAM amount in the 6a is helping to keep the price down. The Pixel 6a is powered by Google's Tensor system on a chip. It's the same one that's inside the Pixel 6 Pro. When Google introduced Tensor, its first mobile chip, the company explained that Tensor could run the latest machine learning models, but at a lower power consumption than older Pixels. Tensor makes it possible for the Pixel to have Google's most accurate automatic speech recognition. Additionally, devices running on Tensor can handle live translations and transcribe audio even when they're offline. Bringing all those features to the A line is a big deal. Budget-conscious people will have access to some powerful tools with the 6a. Google is claiming battery life on the Pixel 6a is over 24 hours. The small print says that the Pixel 6a lasted 29 hours in its test, using a median Pixel user battery usage profile across a mix of talk, data, standby, and use of other features. And unless I missed something, it looks like the Pixel 6a will not have wireless charging. That's kind of a bummer. I mean, even the iPhone SE has that. The Pixel 5a also did not have wireless charging. The Pixel 6a is IP67 rated. That means no dust is getting into the Pixel 6a and that it can be immersed in up to 1 meter of water for 30 minutes without damage. What else? There's a fingerprint sensor under the display. If you're looking for a headphone jack, I'm sorry, sit down, I've got some bad news. It's gone. The 5a had one, but it's gone for the 6a. You'll get security updates for 5 years and Android updates for 3. So let's talk about the display itself. It's 6.1 inches with a refresh rate of 60 Hz. This seems to be one of the most noticeable compromises if you're comparing the 6 and the 6a. The 6 has a 6.4-inch screen with an up to 90 Hz refresh rate. If you're on the fence between the 6 and the 6a, here are the main differences listed for you. The 6 has more RAM, a larger display with a higher refresh rate, up to 256 gigs of space. Its main rear camera is 50 megapixels, and it has wireless charging. Then there's the 6 Pro with even more RAM, an even larger display at 6.7 inches. That's got a 120 Hz refresh rate and up to half a terabyte of space. The Pro also has a better front-facing camera than both the 6 and the 6a. The 6 and 6 Pro are also IP68 water and dust resistant, so no dust is getting in, and they can be immersed underwater 1 meter or more for a duration specified by Google. The 6a is IP67 rated. You'll also have to deal with when the updates end. So maybe when the 7 comes out, a discounted 6 could be a pretty good deal, or you could pick up a 6a at around $450. Just enjoy it for a few years. What about the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro? Well, we don't have a terribly detailed picture, but here's what we know. Generally, the device looks a lot like the Pixel 6. What's that saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it? Well, don't fix it for a couple years, because how else will people know what's the newest and bestest? Such a weird saying, huh? Anyway, the camera bar is getting a new look. It will be using a single piece of recycled aluminum for that camera bar and the housing. From the pictures Google provided, it looks like the Pro model will have a shiny look for the aluminum, while the regular model goes with a matte finish. In less subtle design details, you can see that the Pro model has a big circular cutout to the right of the pill-shaped camera cutout. The Pro model will have a triple camera system, whereas the Pixel 7 will stick to a dual rear camera setup. It appears the Pixel 7 will be available in black, white, and a yellow-green. The Pro would come in a white, black, and a gray. The camera belt and housing vary depending on the main color of the phone. That gray Pro seems to be the only one with almost a copper hue on the housing and the camera belt. The Pixel 7s will have a soft touch glass on the back of the phone. Inside will be the next generation of the Tensor system on a chip, and it'll be shipping in the fall with Android 13. So that is everything we officially know about the newest Pixels. Do you see yourself moving over to the Pixel? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments. I used to be a Pixel guy with the first generation. Google tried to make somewhat of a different phone back then. There was no camera bump because the whole device was wedge-shaped. There was a headphone jack because headphone jacks are useful. The original Pixel came with unlimited photo and video uploads to Google Photos, and those files original quality. That's some good stuff right there. The second gen version had some screen issues, which led me away from the Pixel. Now the Pixel has a camera belt, which essentially defines the back of the device. The headphone jack's been gone from the main Pixel line for a while, and unlimited full quality backups are not a part of the deal anymore. I think that Tensor is actually the biggest draw. The more stuff your phone can do offline, the faster it feels. You're not waiting for a network connection to work. Data is not traveling from your phone to the cloud and back. So much more is being done by Google's system on a chip. I'm very curious as to what the next generation of Tensor can do just on the phone itself. If you were wondering about the future of Google stuff, check this out. There could be a foldable Pixel in the works. Will that allow for the second coming of Android tablets? We'll see. I'm Ayaz Akhtar, and I'll see you online.